Evening, I just came back from my evening walk, and very quick take on a question which is commonly asked, that can I be an entrepreneur without money? Well, what to say about this? I'd give you a pretty practical take on what it takes to be an entrepreneur, and it has got nothing to do with money, and how money is just but another resource for entrepreneurship. So let's understand why. Quick dive. Okay, let me start with the story. So there's a story of these two boys, and these two boys were, I think they were in standard 11 that time. And this is not a story of US, it's a story of India, Amche, Mumbai. And both of them were hat freaks. All right, they had a fascination for hats, and they wanted to propound a whole new hat culture in Mumbai. Now, what they did was they started on their own while they were in the 11th standard. And one of their background was from a so-called business background. The other one was not poor, but at the same time, he did not have any disposable money to really take that, his business or his entrepreneurship on. So the first boy, he asked his father for some capital, and then he started working on that. He started calling his contacts, his family contacts, father's contacts, etc. He got the first few clients for his hat. He made a noise in the neighborhood, the coffee shops, his hangouts, his networking. He enhanced the sales. But post a few sales, he was not being able to figure out how to get more hat sales. What happened in the second story, the boy who had no disposable money and who could not even ask his father to give some money to find out whether his experimental entrepreneurship is going to work or not, he was discussing with a few other teenager friends about this hat culture. Now they were into that whole pop culture, the hat culture of wearing those freaky hats, and even making a whole style statement, a personality statement of that. And what they did was this, that he moved those whole group of teenagers, and they were so excited and they were quite confident with the whole entrepreneurship idea of the hat of the second boy, that they started pitching in a little money for this boy. And with that, he made the hats. And when he made the hats, and he had this little hat community, where these teenagers were not only spotting those hats, they were actually taking pictures, they were making style statements, they were talking to other teenagers, bringing them. They were even influencing their parents to spot hats at an adult stage. So within no time, his sales went to 100 and 100 and multiplied further. Now, how this happened? It happened because he went pretty deep. He went towards a deep niche of the preference of the hats on a particular customer segment, and he built a community. And those loyal customers brought in other customers. So this is how it worked. Well, he had no money to start with his entrepreneurial journey. So what do we say here? The second boy basically got the market adoption method. Now, as he got the market adoption method, he knew how to innovate his product. So thereby, he found a feedback also of the product, and with that feed forward, he went ahead with his enterprise business. He was not lazy, unlike the other boy who had money and the whole flow of creativity stopped. Okay, so let me take you to another perspective, that who are generally the people where, or who are the segments from where generally it is pretty difficult to get money from. Let's start. We have the banks. So the banks generally give money to you on your personal credibility, on your credit score, on your credibility, on your collaterals, etc., not on your business idea or on your business plan. So do not look for banks if you're in that stage. Now, if you're looking for VCs, as in the venture capitalists, you see the parameters are pretty strict. So there may be reasons like that. The team is not proven, it's not team, there's no proven team, or there's no proven market, or there's no proven technology. There could be several reasons. And remember, it's just 1% of the enterprises which really land up with the VC funds. So what other ways are there? There could be other your friends and families. Well, what to say? You would be sharing with me what kind of experiences you have, what kind of support you have from your friends and families. Okay, so that leaves us to angel investors. So angel investors are a little more sophisticated, and they generally invest in groups. And you need to also be sophisticated in the framework, in the presentation, in your decks. Get your decks, get continued feedbacks for a considerable period of time, and then just go ahead and see what angel investors may or may not come for the funding. Let me bring you now to the undisclosed investors. These are these people who are your everyday people. All right, so they may be in your dance groups, they may be in your football team, or they may be in your classes, or in your daughter's friend circle, or they may be in the clubs, wherever. Your everyday people you're interacting with, strangers, acquaintances whom you're getting it. Data says that $25,000 checks are being written pretty frequently from these people for a business idea or a plan which is exciting, and they have a confidence in you, and they really do not mind taking a chance on your enterprise business. Okay, so have always an elevator pitch handy. It is your business story. Create enough of excitement. What is in it for the people? Get the story placed, get a message placed. Talk about your product, what big problem it is solving, what value it is creating, and this way just go ahead. So let's talk about the top lines and the bottom lines. Okay, so big things happening, the $200 million getting raised. So all people are playing with the top line. So let's forget about the top lines, the sales and the revenues. Let's get to the bottom lines. The bottom lines of profits. Now, for once, even if we forget the bottom lines of profits, what would really set you solid on an enterprise business is your cash flow. Your cash flow is the flow which is basically helping you to take care of the bills, your monthly expenses, etc. Now, if you understand this pretty well, the cash flow, so you start your enterprise business maybe with a small capital, and along with that, you have short sales cycles, you have short expenditures, short payments, and again, you have recurrent revenues. All right, so this automatically builds in an ecosystem which is self-sufficient, which is resilient, and you never know when you're going to stumble up on the secret sauce that when you really come up with a fast-growing startup growth architecture or a design. See, when you have customers coming in, all right, and you have a whole brand of loyal customers also being built, you will find that there are people who are, because of your passion, they're connecting to you, and they would be giving you, if you give them an exclusivity, so they would be maybe in terms of exclusivity, maybe in terms of advisory equity or something, they would be funding in you. All right, so start with the self-investment. Start with the investment of your dream, the investment of your vision, the investment of the big problem which you're solving, the investment of the value which you're creating. Remember, your customers are not buying the product or service, they're buying the better version of themselves. And when they do that, and when it is a continued process, and when you get your cash flows ready, your elevator pitch ready, and your small enterprise business going, where is the money requirement? Yes, so for entrepreneurship, money is not a deciding factor. Any further question, consultation, please log on to www.entrepreneurshipdrive.com. Calendly, time slot, we're there to consult, you always know that. I would see you in the next video. I had to do a quick take, as I said, that I just came from my evening walk and I thought I must address this today evening. See you soon. All right, bye.